Hello there. Hi, guys. Um, Thank you for listening to this, watching this. First of all, this is going to my podcast on anchor.fm, and this one is going to my YouTube channel as well. So, I hope, guys, you enjoy this. So, what are we doing here? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself so that you get to know me before we start the story. My name is Harry Wan, and um, I have a story to share. A story that has been in my mind for a very long time. Actually, I got several stories, but this one being the the I don't know how to say this. The most hardest one that has bothered me, not bothered me in a way, in a negative way, more in a positive way. It's one that has impacted my life. It's a complicated story. I don't know, like for me, it's very hard to start where it's going to start and where it's going to end because that is how complicated the story is. But I'll be doing my best to tell you this story, and I will make sure that I have time to post. I don't know how many videos there are going to be on this story, but how many videos, slash audio files for the podcast. But let's see. Anyway, I think it's time to share this. The story starts. It's always been like this in my head, where uh, it starts with this about this family, about this girl named Lina Bauer. She is 16 years old, a very smart girl. She's brave as well. Truth to be told, she's like a hero to me. She has had a huge impact on my life in a way that it is very hard to explain. So Lina Bauer, she gets bullied at school. She Nobody at her school likes her, and everybody, they keep just hate her, like raw hate pouring out from their bodies, radiating on her. These people have no idea that this 16-year-old girl, she's a human with feelings, and human that they have been tormenting for several years now. Same people who lives with her in a small village outside of her unnamed country. She lives with her mother. Her father is not in the picture. In fact, she left Lina and her mom when she was just 7 years old. Her mom had to take care of Lina. And be there for her. Her mom did what a single mother's you do in our reality, in our time, taking care of their babies. And that's what Lina's mom did. But there were some elements, there were some stuff that her mom couldn't help her with, like stopping the bullies. She did, however, took her complaints to the school, but school, they are powerless. They, boys will be boys, kids are just being kids. Lina had no friends in the village. All she had was she did have a friend, but not in the village, not from their village. She lived in the city. They exchanged, not used to, sorry. They exchanged a lot of mails, sending each other mails and things like that. This story plays in a world where there are no internet. It's not, you know, like today with phones and computers and, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. It's nothing like that. This is a long time ago. It's a story placed in a time when there was none of this stuff. A time that I remember from my childhood. Funny. Anyway, this village is located in an unnamed country, but it is surrounded, at least from this side, by mountains and forest with huge trees. They are so huge that you cannot see their tops. And in front of the village on this side, you have like um, it's like a dam, like a huge river that floods and floods. I mean, it's like a small ocean, not river, sorry, like a small ocean, and most of the people in the village they live on fishing, they are fishermen and farmers. They are not very sophisticated. They are not aware of the outside world. Like they are a little bit behind, but still they have schools, they have electricity, they have like TVs and things like that. So it's not really medieval. But it is a beautiful village, and people in it, they are most of the times they are very nice, except their children being mean to Lina. So all Lina wants, her dream is, she wants to move from the village. She wants to live in the city. Her biggest dream. Just to get away from everyone. In the village, the only person that really talks to her about her feelings and things like that is her mother. Nobody else talks to her about anything except her friends, but she lives in the city, so they keep in touch like once a week or something. It's, you're 16, you want a friend, right? She doesn't have a friend. So, but she knows the only way that there are two things that she has to do, that can make her move out from the village and live in the city. The first thing is she has to make sure that she is well and alive and help that she is there for her mother and helps her mother. And second is to get good grades so that she can find a decent school in the city and start work there, study and hopefully get a nice decent job. But in any way she's gonna need her mom's help, and her mom, she is a hard working woman. She works in the village small market they have, like a small supermarket. She's there like 11 hours a day, and she knows everyone. It's a small village, everybody knows everyone. And to the villager, she actually holds the most important job in the village, because basically you can get anything from this small market: food, medicine, chargers, anything, like basically anything. And she gets a decent salary from that. It helps her, it enables her to provide a decent, healthy environment for her and for her little daughter, for Lina. It's not really complicated to understand the nuclear in a family. Every family wants the best for their members. And what Lina's mom has for her daughter is that to get in a decent school in the city, because she knows that her daughter is being tormented in the village by other kids in her age. That is why she always tells Lina not to worry, not to think about the kids, not to think about what they say to her, and only focus on the positive. Because the day is closing in for her to move out, to move to the city. All Lina has to do is get good grades and make sure she doesn't let her guards down. She doesn't let her so-called friends, schoolmates run over her. That is basically all she has to do. So one morning, Lina was on her way to school, and it was a really bad weather. It was raining, the thunder, the lightning, and Lina is very afraid of the dark, of the lighting, of the thunder, of the whole thing about rain and this part of the world and this village. When it rained like never before. Like it was crazy. So on her way to school, she saw how close the lightning, the thunder hit, and she basically ran like she has never done it before in her life to school, and she was so scared that she by accident ran into one of her biggest bullies, and she couldn't control her body. She couldn't stop because she was running so fast. So she like ran into him. He didn't like that. Oh, let me tell you, he didn't like that at all. So he thought that Lina did that on purpose, that she was trying to hit him. And he pushed her so fast so hard, that she literally fell to her backside like this. Both her hands went up and she fell on her back. And the next moment she woke up, she had this couple. This couple was there on knees. They are talking to her, trying to wake her up. Hey, wake up! What is going on? Are you okay? Are you okay? The woman was keep asking, "Are you okay, sweetie? Do you need help? What happened to you? Oh my God, who did this to you?" Well, Lina had very hard time to get the words out. She was shaking. She was crying. Her eyes were filled with fear, with terror, with utter destruction, like somebody is reaching into your heart and pulling everything out, like a very, like she's been in a very bad dream. She thought she was dreaming. She thought this whole thing is a nightmare. What is going on? What is happening to me? Why is this happening? I don't understand this. Could anyone explain this to me? Why am I in this situation? This couple is continuing, their voice got, like started echoing in the back of her head, their faces, start to become blurry and she couldn't see properly, and she was struggling to keep her eyes open because it was raining and it was still raining, and she could see how the clouds are building up. It's getting darker and darker, although it's early in the morning, so it feels like it's the middle of the night. And she is very extremely scared of the lightings. But this couple, they recognize her. They know who she is. She's the daughter of the supermarket's lady. They know who she is. So they help her out. Even though she couldn't walk, she couldn't do anything. Like seriously, these couple had to hold her up, and each of them taking her shoulder like this, with her hands around their necks, around their shoulders. They're trying to walk her. They don't have a car. And then the street where Lina fell, where this guy pushed her, the bully. This street was in the middle of the village. So you had houses on this side, you had houses on this side. And here you had the street. You had the school at the very how do I say it? When you first enter the village from the main road that comes from the city, that's where the school is. It's not in the middle of the village. It's almost at the beginning or at the end of the village. So the supermarket is about not more than let's see, a block, like 200-300 meters, feet. These people helped her to the supermarket, and Lina's mother she was really shocked when she saw her daughter with this couple helping her to the supermarket. When she saw through the glass that they were helping her daughter in the rain, the rain was pouring. It was crazy. It was dark, eerie environment with rain pouring like crazy. Lina's mom opened the door, the glass door, and oh my God, what happened to my daughter? Who did this to her? Who did this to my little girl? She said. The couple told her that we found her like this. She was unconscious, laying in the middle of the street. Somebody must have done something to her. You need to make a police report of this. Something that Lina's mom was. She's aware. She knows that she has to make a police report, but that's not what she wants to do right now. She wants to know what happened to her daughter. This couple helped her daughter into the store. She had one of those pulled out couches in the back, and staff room. They had the staff room with a couch and a pulled out couch. She pulled that couch out, and they put Lena there. This couple stayed there to help the mom, and people were coming into the store. It's a supermarket. People were coming in to buy things, and more people came in, and all of a sudden you had like an audience in the back. Everybody asks her what's going on, what has happened. It's a small village. Everyone knows. Like the rumor spread. Somebody saw this couple helping Lina Bauer up, and they spread the rumor. So they did what they had to do. They helped this little girl to her mom. Somebody did something to her. So after drying her and after helping Lena to calm, when she saw her mom, she got calmer. She got more relaxed. She knew that her mom is just here to help her and that her mom is, you know, is somebody she trusts. She knows now that she's in good hands. And she started to open up and tell what has happened. And her mom got very mad, got very angry when she heard that a bully from the school has done that to her little girl, pushing her, because that is, what if she died? What if that push killed Lena? Didn't he know that you're not supposed to put your hands on anyone? You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to hurt people. That's when her mom knew that this bullying has gotten into such an ugly phase that now they are actually hurting her, like physically, like it's not mentally anymore, it's not emotional, it's really, really bad right now. It's going crazy. Something has to be done. Someone has to do something to stop this. She closed down the store and helped her daughter home. And she stayed with her daughter that whole day because as her mom, the only thing she can do right now is be there for her, take care of her, nurture her, make sure that she has everything, make sure that she's safe mentally and physically, that she's okay. Because she knew, the mother knew that the days for these boys, for her bullies, both boys and girls are coming, that she's going to hold them accountable for this. This is not, they can just do that to people and thinking that, they're gonna get away with. I mean, so she knew, she planned that the next day or the day after that, depending on how well her daughter is doing, that she's going down to the police station in the city, actually, that she's going to do the police report on the boy who did that to her daughter, and she's going to make a formal uh, request or formal report in school to make sure that whoever did that to her is going to be held responsible. During the day, later that day, during the night, when it was time for Lina to sleep and to relax, and she had very hard time to sleep, and she was keep playing the whole incident in her head, the thing that she went through, because the whole idea, the whole experience was very tough on her, because this is like the only time, this is the first time in her life that things gone physical, and that really scared her. So she had to do something. She had to find a way to, make sure that nothing like this happens to her or to her mom. Because with these bullies, you don't know where the end is. You don't know if, if they're going to be nice to you or not. Because in this case, they were certainly not nice to her. In fact, the bully pushed her so hard that she could have died. You just don't do that to people. Simple as that. That's what she thought to herself. She was crying. The poor girl had a very tough time. Her mom was in the other room watching TV, not knowing that her little girl is suffering right now in her room by herself. She felt like alone, naked, in a dark world, a world that is just getting smaller and smaller. And that really terrified Lina. It's really terrifying to think about it. All her life, all she has to think about, all she thought about these people hurting her, calling her names, telling her how ugly she is, how fat she is, how disgusting she is. But the truth is, there was not ounce of a single fat molecule on her body. I mean, everyone has fat, but she wasn't fat. Everyone has fat on their body, but she wasn't that fat. She wasn't, overweight. She wasn't stupid. She was actually very smart in school. She was very advanced when it comes to thinking. She always thought outside of the box. She never had to do redo a test. She always made it in the first try. Not like her bully, not like her bullies. They were always, most of them, they were always falling behind. All they were good at was bullying. So, after much deep thinking, after much harsh and dark thoughts that dwelt inside of Lina's head. Finally, she slept. But that night, the rain, the thunders, the lightnings, they kept go on. In the middle of the night, the lightning struck, and there was this tree outside of her window burning. She woke up, she saw that her room was, it was a yellow light. It felt like it was in the middle of the day. She knew that this is not normal. What is happening? She went to the window and pulled the curtains from both sides in the middle and pulling it to both left and right sides, and she saw the fire, the forest, the trees, everything was burning. What is going on? She thought. Why is this happening? Why all of this is happening in the same in the day where I got, you know, beaten, bruised, left to die in the rain. There was so much going on through her head. She doesn't know what to believe, what to think. She was lost. And now the forest behind her house that goes all the way up to the mountain is on fire. What is happening? Why is this happening? The answers, there were none. There were no answers there. There was just more questions, adding to the thousands of questions that she already has. This felt like a never-ending cycle, a cycle that she thought would lead her to her destruction. When she thought about her destruction, that's when she woke up and realized that the whole thing was just a dream. But dreams, they are funny little things that we think about, that we have, that we feel, that you almost taste. Why did she have this dream? Now she was sitting there on her bed, awakened from a very bad dream. So much has happened today, she thought. She wondered what is stored for her the next day. What is happening? Then, the next moment, a lightning strikes happened just outside of her window. Now she wasn't dreaming anymore. This was real. This was happening. But there was no yellow light in her room. There was no light outside of her window. The light went away. She walked to to the window. She pulled the curtains to both sides, and there was just nothing there, just the complete darkness. She had a she was so relieved to see that her imagination. She was bruised, she was beaten, she was hurt so badly that had her mind has gone haywire and just made up things from nothing, from thin air. But there was one thing that was very interesting. I don't know if you noticed, but there was something connected to her dream, wasn't it? You see, in her dream, a thunder hit the forest, a thunder light, a lighting, sorry, a lighting. And now when she was awake, when she woke up from her dream and realized that the whole thing was a dream, now a lighting hit the forest, same spot as in the dream. But the differences are, in her dream, the forest was set on fire. And now, in the reality, now that she's awakened, there was no forest fire, but there was a thunder strike, a lightning struck on the same spot in the forest. Things are getting very interesting now. Thank you for listening/watching, and I will see you in the next episode.